You work hard, you show up early, stay late, sacrifice weekends, family dinners, even your own health sometimes, just to keep proving yourself. But somehow, no one seems to notice. The promotions go to someone else, the credit gets shared, or worse, even forgotten. And you start to wonder, what's the point in all of that? Here is the brutal reality. It's not your effort that is missing, it's your strategy. In today's world, hard work alone is not enough. If no one sees the value that you deliver, it's as if it doesn't exist. In this video, I'll show you the system, the exact rhythm that top performers use to get noticed without bragging, stay visible, and finally make their hard work count. Let's start with the myth that traps almost every ambitious professional. The myth that says, if I just work hard enough, someone will notice. You've heard it your whole life. Do a good work, keep your head down, be patient. Eventually, recognition will come, right? Except that it doesn't, at least not consistently, because somewhere along the way, we confused effort with visibility. You can give your job everything that you have. 10 hours a day, unread messages from your partner, half-finished dinners, and still end of the week feeling invisible. So you double down, you take on more, you answer emails at midnight because that's what commitment looks like, right? You volunteer for the extra project no one wants because that's how leaders get noticed. And still the recognition goes elsewhere. You start to feel bitter, maybe even broken. You wonder why others, sometimes with less skills or less output, are the ones that are moving ahead. And slowly the story that you tell yourself changes. Maybe I'm just not that type. Maybe I'm not loud enough, political enough, or confident enough. But none of that is true. You're not invisible because you're not valuable. You're invisible because you're not seen. And that's what we are going to fix today. Let's be real, when you stay trapped in that invisible worker mindset, it takes more than a professional toll. Your energy drops, your confidence fades, and you start questioning everything. Why am I even doing this? Does anyone care? You scroll through LinkedIn and see everyone else celebrating promotions, awards, new roles. Meanwhile, you are sitting there thinking, I'm working just as hard, maybe even harder. That dissonance eats away at you. You lose motivation, creativity, and eventually your edge as well. And this is the moment most people make one of two mistakes. They either quit and start over somewhere else, or they grind even harder in the same environment, hoping that this time someone will notice. But neither fixes the real problem, because this was never about your performance. It's about your perception. Here's what no one teaches you early in your career. Success isn't just about what you do. It's about what others see you do. In some companies, hard work is expected, it's the bare minimum. In others, it's mistaken for inefficiency. If they are always busy, maybe they are not that strategic. So being noticed isn't lack or loudness, it's a strategy. A simple one built on how you manage your perception. And to understand it, I want to show you a framework that changed everything for me and thousands of professionals that I've coached, the career equation. Your career is a product and you are its CEO. Just like any product, it has a marketing mix. Product, the value that you deliver, the problems that you solve, the quality of your work. Promotion, how you make that value visible. Place, where you choose to play, your team, company, or industry. And finally, price, the result, your salary, your opportunities, and your growth. Your results, your price, are determined by how you manage the first three. Today, we are going deep into the promotion side, specifically how to manage your perception so your work gets noticed without you feeling fake. So now let's go deeper into the actual mechanics of becoming visible at work. Not through politics, shouting, or being someone you're not, but through a structured perception strategy that aligns directly with the career equation. Remember, perception is not the truth. Perception is the story people believe about you. And if you don't guide that story, someone else will. This act is where we take your invisible hard work and turn it into visible strategic career capital. We are going to break this into 4 stages, the 4 pillars of the perception layer of the promotion ladder. Each one builds on the previous, and together they form your weekly visibility rhythm. Let's start at the very base. This is the piece almost everyone skips and is the reason most high performers stay invisible. If you don't track your achievements, you cannot communicate your impact or build your reputation. You can't manage your manager, reinforce your unique value, or finally grow your price in the career equation, because your product is the value you create and the evidence of that value lives inside your achievements. But here is the thing. Your brain is not a database. When you're stressed, overloaded, or sprinting through the projects, you forget what you did, especially the wins that matter. That's why you must build a weekly achievements tracker. Every week, write down 4 things. The problem that you solve. This connects directly to the problem level of the career equation. The difficulty of the problems defines your career value. Second, the outcome it created, not the task, the result. Did you save time, increase speed, prevent a mistake, influence a decision, create clarity, improve communication? Outcomes equal relevance. Third, the impact on the team and or the company. This speaks to the place and price. People promote what is visibly valuable to the organization and to them. And finally, what you learned. This aligns with your product pyramid growth. Problem solving, collaboration, leadership. This step is non-negotiable. If you skip tracking, everything else collapses. You'll always feel not confident enough, not sure what to say, or like you don't have a proof. Tracking is not bragging. Tracking is the infrastructure behind your professional reputation. Build this weekly rhythm and everything downstream becomes easier. Stage 2 is when you start building confidence. This is the stage that terrifies most people, even the top ones. Not because they lack achievements, but because they lack practice in communicating those achievements. People freeze because they have internal narratives like, my work should speak for itself, my boss already knows what I'm doing, sharing my achievements feels arrogant, I don't want to be that person that brags, right? But the truth is, work does not speak for itself. People speak for themselves. And the people who get promoted, they are not louder, they are clearer. So here is how you rewire your confidence and build your confidence gradually. First, start in safe environments. Begin with your one-to-ones, one sentence, nothing flashing. Something that went really well last week was XYZ. And here is what I learned from it. You're not bragging, you're reporting the value that you delivered. Next, move to micro updates in team meetings, for example. Anything that involves more people. Don't announce achievements, explain the impact. For example, one thing we discovered during this project was that doing X reduced Y by 40%. We are planning to roll out over the next few weeks. Notice how that's not ego-driven. It frames your work as contribution to the team's understanding. Then widen that circle. Start looping in other people, mentors, senior stakeholders, cross-functional partners, anyone affected by your work. Short, high-value updates. One paragraph, impact-focused. Finally, make showcasing public. This can be, for example, presenting in meetings, giving updates in team updates, volunteering for presentations, sharing learnings internally or externally as well, if appropriate. This is where you shift from worker to communicator of value. And that shift is what separates plateaued individuals from promotable professionals. Over time, your brain stops associating sharing with bragging. Instead, you begin to see it as teaching, guiding, and adding clarity. This is the rewiring that builds sustainable confidence. Stage 3 is managing your boss. This stage is where most careers either accelerate or stop. Your manager is not your enemy. They're also not your savior or friend. They are your primary stakeholder. And like any stakeholder, they need information, clarity, trust, visibility, and alignment. But the trap is the following. Most managers are stretched thin. They don't see everything that you do. In fact, they often see less than 20%. So your job is to make it easy for them to understand your impact. Build a manager update rhythm, weekly or bi-weekly, depending on your working relationship. Your update should include what you achieved, tied directly to the outcomes, what's coming next, priorities, timelines, and where you need input. That clarity accelerates trust. This rhythm does 3 things. First, it makes you predictable. Second, it builds reliability. And finally, it increases your perceived competence. Adapt your style to your boss's style as well. Remember that every manager has a different leadership style, so you will need to decode yours. Is your boss data-driven, for example, vision-focused, detail-oriented, big picture focused? Match the format they think in. That's not politics, it's effectiveness, it's empathy. And it allows you to adjust your work style and update style to theirs. Finally, Share your capacity transparently. This is a big one. Overworking silently does not build your reputation, it destroys it. Tell your manager what you are covering, what's the risk, what's blocked, where you can take on more, or where priorities need realignment. Leaders don't reward mystery, they reward clarity. Stage 4, staying humble while doing all of that. Let's talk about the glue that holds everything together: humility. Visibility without humility becomes arrogance. Arrogance kills your credibility, and credibility is the engine of perception. So here's how you stay grounded while raising your visibility. First, give credit generously. If someone helped, influenced, or inspired your work, say it. Not as performance, as a practice. It builds trust and expands your network. People really appreciate that. Then shift your language from I to we and impact. Instead of I delivered this project, try the team achieved this outcome and here is the impact it created. That one tiny shift signals your maturity and leadership. This is what managers promote. Focus on value, not the volume of the updates as well. Your updates don't need to be long. They need to be clear, specific, and value-driven. When you share less but share better than other people, people see you as a strategic person, not noisy. Then stay curious, but not defensive. When someone asks questions about your work, don't treat this as criticism, treat this as interest. That reframe alone changes how people experience you. Your humility is the filter that keeps your reputation clean even as your visibility grows. And this is the perception strategy that finally makes your hard work visible. It's not political, it's not manipulative, it's not fake. It's a structured communication anchored in the career equation and built to turn invisible effort into visible value. Now, a quick reminder, promotion is a multiplier, but it can multiply something that does not exist. If you haven't yet defined your career product, start there. Your skills, your value proposition, your direction, that's your foundation. Because perception only amplifies what's already there. So if you want to go deeper, check my free career masterclass and you'll get a free guidebook and toolkit to help you define exactly that, especially your unique value proposition. That's where visibility starts to make sense. So let's put this into action. Here is how you can start this week, this day. First, create your achievements tracker, a simple spreadsheet, document, or journal. Every week, write 1 to 3 key wins. Focus on the value, not the volume. Remember that. In your one-to-ones, share selectively. Choose the achievements that align with your manager's priorities. Frame them around the result and learning, not the effort that you put in. Use storytelling in team updates. When you share something publicly, keep it short and impactful. What was the problem? What was the solution? What was the outcome? Then stop. Let curiosity do the rest. Invite questions. Build stakeholders loop. Every month, share light, professional update with mentors, senior leaders, or cross-team partners. One paragraph, one insight, that's it. Over time, this becomes your visibility rhythm, a simple, repeatable process that builds perception naturally. And remember, your perception is the bridge between your effort and your opportunity and the recognition you get for it. If people don't see the value you create, it doesn't matter how brilliant or dedicated you are, because in their eyes, that value does not exist. But when you start communicating consistently, when you stay visible through value-based updates and thoughtful storytelling, you make it effortless for others to advocate for you. That's how promotions happen. That's how leaders rise. That's how you finally get recognized, not by shouting louder, but by showing smarter. Because perception is not manipulation, it's communication. And when done right, it turns your hard work into visible impact. So if you are ready to take this further, to build your own visibility system step by step, once again, check out my free Phoenix Masterclass. You'll get the guidebook and toolkit with the exact templates I use, the achievements tracker, the visibility planner, the perception rhythm sheet. It's completely free and it will help you turn today's insight into real visible progress. Your career deserves to be seen, and it's time the world started noticing that you're really capable of.